Update. Would I be the a-hole for not reminding my wife it's my birthday? Original post. I've been married for 6 years and I love my wife dearly. However, there's been a disconnect between us. I feel like I'm more invested in our relationship than she is. I'm always the first to apologize when we argue, always the one to press issues so we can talk, and the one who typically bends so we can find balance. Today is my birthday, and so far it's like she has no idea. We went through the normal motions this morning, talked about our day, and she asked if we can grab takeout tonight from her favorite place, so she's clearly forgotten. I'm not someone who makes a big deal about things like birthdays, but also, I guess I'd like to have it acknowledged. I'd like that reassurance that I matter to people. I mean, I feel kinda invisible in my own life sometimes, and I just want to know people care. I guess I'd like to know if I'm a priority to her, to see if she would even acknowledge my birthday if I don't prompt her. I mean, I took her out for hers, got her gifts she loved, etc. I'm just curious if I would even hear the 2 words if I didn't say anything. Would I be the a-hole if I continued to go through today without telling her? Now for the top comments before reading the update. Not the a-hole. May seem weird, but I suggest not saying anything to see if she really forgot. Has this happened before or anything similar? No, not really. She has a history of hating her own birthday and tries to avoid it, so I kind of have to dance around that to show that I care. Maybe she downplays mine because she hates her own? I don't know. Not liking her own birthday isn't an excuse. I don't like celebrating my own birthday and would be totally fine if no one acknowledged it. I always celebrate my spouse's birthday and make him feel loved and special. You would not be the a-hole if you didn't remind her. Tell her tomorrow and tell her exactly how invisible you have been feeling in your relationship. She sounds self-involved, so maybe it will be a bit of a wake-up call. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go this route. I don't want to tell her and have her just be reactionary. I'll tell her tomorrow and how it made me feel and try to work on us. She has a history of hating her own birthday and tries to avoid it. Nah, man, that shouldn't matter. She actually should be making sure you enjoy your birthday. Just because she hates her own doesn't mean she shouldn't do something special on yours. I still say you keep going about your normal day just to see if she really did forget. If she did, then maybe figure out if you guys are willing to fight for your marriage. I would definitely fight for it. As for me, it'd be just one of the stumbles of marriage. If you decide to fight for it, then you guys should definitely sit and have a long, calm conversation. Seems like you guys need to communicate more. If that doesn't work, maybe try couples counseling. It'd be a shame to throw away a 6-year marriage over someone forgetting a birthday. Not that it's not important, but it also isn't a super long marriage, and there's still time to see if you guys really do love each other, so you don't waste any more time, energy, and effort on a marriage that might end later, you know? I'm not going to throw things away over this. That would be ridiculous. I'm just not gonna deny that it hurts she's forgotten. Like, she'll keep up to date on things she's passionate about and tell me about them all the time, but something like this just gets dropped. Now for the update. So yesterday was my birthday, and I was under the impression that my wife had forgotten. I got all up in my head questioning a lot of things in our marriage. My wife had earlier mentioned getting fast food from one of her favorite places, and it made me think that my birthday wasn't even on her radar. Well, following the advice I received, I didn't say anything to her. I went to pick her up from work and give her her keys. We're down to 1 car between us because mine is in the shop, and everything played out as normal. However, instead of going to Crushed Red like she had mentioned, we pulled up at my favorite Mexican restaurant that we only go to on special occasions. Over the course of 1 massive burrito and some deep margaritas, we got to talking. She said it was really hard not to say anything, but she wanted to surprise me. I told her how I had felt, and she was immediately apologetic. She blamed herself, and I told her she had nothing to apologize for. She was trying to surprise me, and I could have remedied everything by just communicating. We talked about our relationship a bit and had a good night. She asked me what I'd like to do, and I just wanted a simple night. So we went home and watched a movie together I'd been trying to get her to see, The Raid Redemption, which she actually really liked. All in all, it was a good night, and a lot of my fears were misguided. I felt like I owed you guys an update after so many of you reached out yesterday. Hope you all have a good day. Bro went from she forgot my birthday to we're bonding over burritos and beating people up in the raid. Emotional roller coaster, but 10 out of 10 ending. Yeah, honestly, I can't explain it. It's what I was feeling at the moment. Figured I'd tell it like it happened, lol. This is so relatable for me. I'm glad after the spiraling there was this outcome. Sounds like a great birthday evening to me. Good update. This is why I hate surprises like this though. Like you want me to spend half my birthday being miserable because you want to surprise me later? Makes no sense. I mean, to be fair to her, we spent most of that day working. We currently work in the same building, and she didn't have a whole lot of time to do or say much. I was stuck working and spiraling a bit for several hours. She was looking to surprise me with it after we got off work. I used to plan parties. After witnessing lots of people feeling neglected by their loved ones, keeping a surprise secret, I started telling people not to pretend to have forgotten the occasion. So many hurt feelings that don't go away in an instant, even if the reason was wholesome. I mean, once it clicked what her plan was, etc., I stopped feeling hurt. If anything, she felt so bad for making me feel that way, even if it was inadvertent. I told her not to hold on to it, and that I wasn't upset anymore now that I understood the situation. I could have said something to her at any point, but was getting in my own head and digging myself deeper. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to provide anything for my children's half-siblings? I, 30 male, have 2 kids, 12 female and 11 male with my ex, and we share 50-50 custody and parenting time. Our breakup was acrimonious, and we still hate each other. But we do try to keep that from our kids by being civil when they're around, and the rest of the time we hardly ever speak or acknowledge each other. All communication outside of face-to-face is done via an app. She has 4 additional children. She has a 9-year-old son with someone else, and she has a 6-year-old daughter, 4-year-old daughter, and a 2-year-old son with her husband. I have never purchased anything for my children's half-siblings, nor have they ever asked to buy stuff for them with me, or asked me to buy them anything. I have never spent time with their half-siblings either. We do custody exchanges at a third-party location, and they go from one car to the other with minimal to no interaction between their mom and myself. My ex's parents have kept in touch with me over the years. Back when my ex's 9-year-old was born, her parents hinted that I should take him on as my own son because of the situation with his biological father. I ignored it, and after a few months, they dropped the subject altogether. They have overshared things about my ex's household, and I had to tell them it wasn't something I needed to hear unless it involved my children. But I know her husband doesn't accept or provide for the 9-year-old thanks to them. And this is an argument now being used. I provide a lot of what my kids need and want. When it comes to school supplies and clothes, I do it more frequently than their mom, because the quality between what she can buy and what I can is different. Most of the school supplies are left at school, so it's not a big concern of mine that she'll just take them for her other kids. But she did ask me about a year ago to buy more for ours and let her distribute them among her school-aged kids. I told her I was her ex for a reason, and it was on her and her husband to provide for their kids like I was providing for ours. My contact with her parents greatly reduced in the last few months because they decided to campaign for me to provide things for their other grandchildren, more specifically the 9-year-old. But they feel like, as the father of those kids' half-siblings, I should be willing and eager to make sure they have what they need. They argued that it would give my kids good values too, because right now, they do not care that they have more and better than their half-siblings. My ex's parents were very concerned about this, and even asked my kids if they'd ask me to get stuff they could share, and they told them no. I asked them why the heck they were involving my kids like that, and they said the kids should be doing it themselves. That they were shocked my kids didn't advocate for their younger half-siblings at all, and they told me they only look out for each other, not the others, and I have shown them that. That I show them to do that every time they experience having more or better than their half-siblings. They argued with me that a good father would want his kids to take care of their family, even if their kid's family wasn't identical to their own. I talked to my kids about their grandparents, and they said they only spoke to them about this and requested it twice. Nothing else on the topic since, but the only contact my ex's parents and I now have is when we are supporting the kids at the same activities. The last time I saw them was at the end of May, and they were letting me know they were disappointed and believed I wasn't as good of a father as they thought. They said I am letting innocent kids suffer because of my ex's actions in our breakup and not teaching my kids better. I find this whole thing frustrating because I have 2 kids and I provide for my 2 kids. I didn't have more than I could provide for, and we live a comfortable life. I don't feel like it should be on me to be responsible for any other kids my ex has, but I know her 9-year-old is the loser most of all in this. So I'm here asking if taking this stance makes me the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole at all. It's completely crazy to expect this from you. Tell them that if you are a bad dad for taking care of your children, what is their opinion about their daughter, who has 3 baby daddy and 5 kids, letting her last husband being cold to the 9-year-old? Tell them she needs to ask the person who banged her. It's not your problem. You need to save money for your children. I did suggest they should tell their son-in-law to step up, or better yet, get their daughter to pick a better husband than one who signed up for her being a single mom and is a prick to the kid with no second parent. Sounds like the grandparents will have to find a way to step up, seeing as they're so keen for the other 4 to have the same as your 2. Also, who marries a man who rejects their existing children? Your ex sounds like she cares more about herself than her kid with no dad. It's possible she herself has some hard feelings toward her 9-year-old, and that's why she's okay with it happening. That poor kid. Grandparents should definitely be supporting that kid, at least emotionally. They'd prefer to get me to do it, and really I don't understand why, because clearly they care a little to keep trying to make me give in, but they're already in his life. Not the a-hole. Your ex is crazy. She has to take responsibility for her own actions. I give her credit for backing off, though a part of me wonders if she's sending her parents to do this for her. They sure as heck need to back off. Last story. Am I the a-hole for repeatedly refusing to add my stepdad's last name to mine? I, 17 female, lost my dad in a work incident when I was 6. I remember him enough that I always knew I never wanted or would accept a new dad. But when my mom remarried when I was 8, she hoped I would come around and see my stepdad as my new dad. He hoped so too, and 3 times a year since they got married, they asked me to add his last name by hyphenating my last name with his. I always said no. He hasn't adopted me, and I was asked one time and I broke down and cried and said never, so that was left alone, but they still feel like I could add his name. My mom has argued with me that adding his name doesn't change much, but it just shows the respect and love for him that he deserves. I asked why none of my friends with step-parents have to do that, and she said it's different when your parents are alive, but dad's dead, he's not coming back, and she said he would want me to. I don't believe her on that, and I told her as much. She said to forget about how dad would feel about it, and consider how happy it would make my stepdad and her. She used to say it would make life easier for him to take me places without her if we shared a last name, even if mine is hyphenated and his isn't. My stepdad has asked me a few times if there's anything he could start doing to make me consider it, and I always say no. He told me he'll never have a daughter of his own, and he always wanted one, and he considers me his daughter, but it hurts to know I don't feel the same, and that I don't like it when he calls me his daughter. He and my mom have 2 boys together. A few times he told me that he hates the idea that dad will always be between us. He said he respects my dad and what he gave him, but he's tired of being compared to dad by me, and he knows that's what I'm doing because otherwise I wouldn't refuse him. It still comes up, and I'll be 18 in a few months. My mom said it would never be too late to do this for my stepdad, and she said if not now, it should be something I do while he's alive. I told her my mind is made up and I'm not willing to work on it. She said I shouldn't be so stubborn. When I've had grief therapy, solo therapy with a specialist in blended families, and family therapy with them, I told her the therapists always supported me choosing to keep my name. And she said I was also told not to shut my heart down for my stepdad, and that by refusing every time I'm asked, I am ignoring what one therapist told me. Then last night, Mom told me I am stomping on my stepdad and she's getting tired of it. She said repeatedly refusing is turning into a cruel rejection of him, and I said I wouldn't need to reject if they stopped asking. But Mom said I should have accepted years ago, and that I'm turning into a daughter neither her nor Dad would be proud of. I told her she was the cruel one using Dad against me. Mom said the truth hurts, and I told her she can't speak for Dad, which made Mom angry, and she told me they might never have talked about it, but she knew him longer and better than me. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. You can have a good relationship with your stepdad, but that shouldn't replace your memories and feelings of your own dad. Have you ever asked why it's so important to him? I have asked in general, and I was told because he loves me and considers me his daughter, and because it shows us as a united family. Also, would have made life easier when I was younger. Lots of stuff like that. Having read way too many AITA posts, but never going through being a child of step-parents. It seems to me like your new stepdad is trying to replace your dad, but that isn't what a healthy step-parent relationship should be. He can be a new father figure to you. You can love him, trust him, care for him, but he is not a replacement dad. I'm assuming your mom changed her last name to match his? Yes, they have the same last name. She originally considered hyphenating, but she said it would have disrespected him to keep Dad's name, and she didn't want to make him feel second best or like there were 3 people in their marriage. This explains everything. It is likely performative to stepdad's manhood, and she is trying to force you to comply. Stay strong. Do what you feel is right. You have autonomy. I do think he likes feeling like number one and doesn't with me, but that's because he's not.